Hello, my name is Haley Barron, and today I dissected the sheep's kidney, and I will be identifying portions of this kidney. The portions that I will be identifying today will be the renal cortex, the renal medulla, renal pyramids, the renal columns, the renal pelvis, the renal sinus, and the renal ileum, the minor calyxes, the major calyxes, and the superior portion of the ureter. So to begin the identification portion, here we have our kidney located in this portion right here. This is going to be our renal cortex. This is just deep to the renal capsule, is our renal cortex. Next, just deep to the renal cortex is going to be our renal medulla portion here. Located within the renal medulla are going to be our renal pyramids. There's about 6 to 18 of these. They're located within the renal medulla. Dividing the renal pyramids from one another is a cortical tissue dividing the pyramids from one another. It'll be located in between the renal pyramids, and this will be called our renal columns. Next, right here, we're going to have our renal pelvis. And then we're going to have about 4 to 5 minor calyxes that will merge to form major calyxes. Minor calyxes, 4 or 5, they're going to merge, form our major calyxes. Next, we'll have our renal sinus. This is a cavity within the kidney. It's located where our renal pelvis is, the calyxes, blood vessels, and nerves located here. And then we'll have our renal ileum. There's a location here. The renal ileum is what contains our renal arteries and our renal veins. And then we have our ureter right here, is this portion here. The superior portion will be located more within here, the superior portion. And our ureter is going to serve as our connection from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. So again, the identification I showed you were the renal cortex, just deep to the renal capsule, our renal medulla, just deep to the renal cortex, renal pyramids within the renal medulla. Dividing the renal pyramids are going to be our renal columns in between the renal pyramids. Then we're going to have our renal pelvis. We're going to have 4 to 5 minor calyxes that merge to form our major calyxes. Next, we'll have our renal sinus, located in the same portion as the renal pelvis, the calyxes, blood vessels, and nerves. Our renal ileum, and our renal ileum is going to be serving, containing our renal arteries and our renal veins. And then we're going to have our ureter, the superior portion being located here, serving as our connection to the kidneys to the urinary bladder. Thank you.